Okay, so let's find out from our expert in-house. Of course, we have Professor Dr. Muhaya Muhammad. Welcome. Good morning to you.
Thank you.
Let's find out, earlier Yasmin and I had this light chat about who teachers are. You can be a professional teacher, or you may even be a teacher who is not recognized as a teacher professionally.
Yes.
What do you think about it? Anybody can be a teacher.
Spot on. Because actually, there are many stages of our life. And everyone is a teacher to somebody.
Yes.
Because there is formal and informal teachers. Yeah. So I've mentioned before that we grew up being conditioned by our environment.
Yes.
So when we are the children in the now you're pregnant, yeah.
Yes.
Of course we cannot tell that the child is listening, but we know that spiritually the child is affected by what the mother is thinking and feeling. Yeah. So the teacher, when the child is born, the teachers of the child, the baby, are the mother, the father, the helper at home, the relatives, and they go to kindergarten. That's the kindergarten teacher. And after that, you have the primary school, then the secondary school. Then you become a profession. For example, you become a doctor, then you have your postgraduate teachers and everyone. But what we want to stress upon here, we know that the success of any nation depends on the people inside rather than building of the nation. Yeah. Yes. So that's why I think the government also are thinking of capacity building, nation building by investing on the human resources. So it's very important that the teachers who's going to teach our children have the correct attitude.
Correct. That's why they say teachers are a noble profession.
That's right. And I want to really tell all the teachers, the whole country and the whole world, if possible, that whatever seed of greatness that you sow in a child will proliferate in them and determine part of their success in the rest of their life. So I want to show how noble the profession of teachers are, because if you have a class of 40, out of that 40, there are going to be 40 individuals with 40 families, and they might head different organizations, and they even lead a nation.
Yes.
So all of us here have been influenced by the teachers, from our parents, family, and of course our school teachers.
Yes.
So it's very important for teachers to take their job as one of the purpose in life, in which because of them, this people become successful. And I want to mention here that if possible, all of us, every day we live, we think, what can I do to give more value to the world? Yes. Always think of what can I give rather than what can I get. Rather than thinking how much I'm going to get paid, why don't we work first and give the best that we can, and the remuneration will come later.
Yes. Let's talk about the characteristics of people who are good or outstanding teachers. What should they be?
Number one, they must give exemplary example.
Yes.
And just in order for us to teach somebody, we must have the traits that we want to teach to people. If we want to teach our children to be good in the 5 pillars, remember, physically they must be good, mentally they must have high intellect, and spiritually they must be connected, and relationship they know how to communicate very well, and financially they're very intelligent. So the teachers that want to teach this must practice this first. We can never teach something that we do not practice ourselves. In other words, we must walk our talk. So we are talking about in school now, the teachers, they have 2 responsibilities. One is to give the teaching academic material. But number 2, don't forget, academic alone will not ascertain a success of a person.
Of course.
It's a soft skill, communication skill, social skill, spiritual connectiveness. These are the ones that teachers have to do. And I find that if I, being a lecturer for so long, when I try to teach someone to be a good doctor, I have to be a good doctor myself. Yes. If I want to teach someone to be a good specialist, I have to be a good specialist myself. So same thing as a teacher, if they want the children to become good citizens, they have to be good citizens themselves. So we are talking about, of course, people might say you're being idealistic, but we must know that there is an idea that we have to go to and try our best. And I want to mention here, number one thing that teacher must do, apart from being good themselves, is the ability to increase the self-esteem of students. How many a time that, sometimes in our school we have class 1 until 5.
Yes.
1 is the best, 5 is the last.
Yes.
I want to tell a study done in Harvard, where students are divided randomly by the locker number. From the locker number, they say the IQ is this, and IQ is this. So a group of teachers are given a group of students. They say these are geniuses, these are the no good. And they were given a certain subject to teach over a period of 3 months. After 3 months, they study the result. Those who were said to be geniuses really become genius. Those who were said are no good really become no good, when it is not actually determined from the beginning.
It is conditioned by the teachers?
Yes, in other words, the impression, the belief of the teacher affect their body language.
Yeah, imagine if somebody keeps telling you, you're in the last class.
But
Yes.
in
What
a sense,
can I do?
I don't think it's changing in our education system. There's always
Streaming, they call it. They call it
Yes.
streaming, yeah.
The streaming is so
I
called.
completely identify with that, and I read many similar such cases where if you do not tell the students that they are not doing well or whatever, they actually do much better.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why
and there's a lot of pressure, like you should be in the first class. Why are you in the third or fourth class? You know, by parents themselves.
Yes, so from beginning, the children are being judged. The parents, teachers are judging. So I said we must not be judgmental. We must not rationalize our action and don't be defensive. This one about relationship. But for children, I think it's very important not to label from the beginning. That's why in the UK,
even the numbers that they have in class, like there's always this every holiday season, like you ask your niece and nephews, like, okay, you got what number in your class?
That's
I
right.
got number 15, okay, 20.
you know, in the UK, when my children were there, we have a parents' evening. I went there and asked, what number did my daughter get? And the teacher looked at me, oh, there's no number. This is her individual education policy.
Individual education policy.
Yes, because I said earlier that success is not being better than someone else, but success is becoming better than you were yesterday.
Exactly.
So individual education policy means they charted my daughter's progress when she first came in all aspects, and we see her progress.
You compete with yourself.
Yes. In other words, we try to improve ourselves. That is success. And success is knowing where you are going. It's not where you are, but which direction you are going.
I think that's so important, you know, what you said. Can I just backtrack on that, you know, to the children and the streaming system?
Yes.
What do you think should be done?
Yes, I think number one, all children should be treated as equal first. Stop all this, let's say they go to standard 1. Go, but like now some schools are doing. Yes, like Bunga Raya or Bunga Kiambang, whatever. Then we just tell we tell the teachers, okay, every child has its potential. Our purpose is to make sure they reach their ceiling, and each person is different. They have their own DNA that God has given and different skill, and we want to develop both the soft skill and of course the academic skill. And streaming now, what we're doing, we want to see some children are very academic, some very technical, some very creative. So it's to know their strength and go towards that. And it's very important that teachers must never give any negative remarks. I know some experience, you know, if a child is a bit overweight, they give names. Shouldn't. All this labeling based on the physical appearance, you shorty, you fatty, is very, very bad.
Exactly.
We are actually making people live from very outside, not from within. We must, for example, you were saying about number 15. You see, when someone had an exam result, actually that's just a reflection of the moment of 1 hour they were doing the exam.
Right.
That's only representative of that 1 hour.
Right.
But the next 5 years, how are you going to be if you say, okay, you got number 15, so you'll go to this class. But actually that number 15 is because how they were 3 months ago. So you are making the progress based on what the performance 3 months, how they were studying. Shouldn't be.
Yes.
So you just say, okay, this is what you get. Okay, you want to get better, this is the way to do it.
Right.
So it's very important that all teachers, number one, to take their job as a purpose in their life. Making excellence for others and seeds of greatness. Number two, we want teachers to know that they are responsible for determining the self-esteem and the future of all the nation's children, where they're going to be in the next 40 years and build the country. Number three, teachers always feel that whatever good they have done will be paid by God. Believe me, I met somebody whose children are all engineers, whose 7 children are all doctors, and their parents are both teachers. And I've yet to find any teacher whose children are not successful. Because God say, if you always make success of other people's children, God will give success to your children. So I want all the teachers out here feel that it's your noble profession. You are privileged to be in that teacher. You teach them well and
passion.
Always, yes, with passion, and say that I am teaching other people's children with a confidence that God will make sure my children's life will be good now and hereafter. So, and I say again, in Islam, there is 3 things that we live when we die. Number 1 is good children who pray for you. Number 2, the donation that you give to people. Number 3 is good knowledge that can be beneficial to mankind.
Yes.
So teachers have this third one. And God is kind that some people have no children, so they have money to donate. Some people have no money to donate, but they have good knowledge. It does not be only academic knowledge. Even how to make jemput-jemput pisang also is a knowledge. If you teach, if beneficial, you are creating value to the world.
Yes.
So,
and at the end of the day, how you define success.
Yes,
in a
so
sense.
success to me is a progressive realization of a worthy cause. And all of us have, in our life, we have to discover our purpose. When we say we are purposeful, is that wherever we are doing, we feel enjoy. We feel the joy, and we love what you do, and we do what we love. Then you're on purpose. And once you're on purpose with passion, you have God's help all the time. And you do it sincerely from your heart. Work with your heart rather than with your mind alone.
Yes. Okay, so that is from the role of the teacher.
Yeah.
But how about from the education ministry? What is their role, in a sense, in encouraging and motivating teachers? Because I know that teachers are human beings. They have their good days and bad days. I mean, in a sense, I think I have went through a process where I can't say hate, I really hurt. My feelings are really hurt by a few of my teachers, but at the end of the day, they have their bad days.
Yes.
That's why they become cranky during classes, and those who throws the.
Yes.
I've been thrown the
eraser.
The blackboard eraser because I was talking in the class that. Oh, okay, all right, but it really hurts my feeling because I'm like, my mom never even raised her hand, and you actually, by the end of the day, they have their bad days. Teachers are human, so
I said earlier that people who are unhappy can never make others happy. So basically, the teacher who misbehave are not happy themselves, and most of the time, people who are not happy at home can never be happy at work. So it's important. It's a cycle actually. If the working environment is good, they are happy at home. When they are happy at home, they are happy at work. But if neither is good, that's why I say when you go to work, you must be focused. Now I'm at work, I want to be the best of what I'm supposed to be today. When I go home, I become a good wife, a good mother, whatever. So again, I understand that teachers have this, but it's a vicious cycle. So in terms of education ministry, number one, we as an organization, we must remember this quotation. Love people, use money. Not love money and use people. But I think the government has done a lot to increase the remuneration and living standard of teachers. But sometimes we also have to look whether are we making people working from their heart or from their mind. In other words, I'm just visualizing a school in which when they start school, the teacher will just sit down because we say a good teacher tells, an average teacher tells, a good teacher explains, an excellent teacher inspires. Before each class, the teacher will start, okay, sit down, think. See yourself in 5 years' time, 10 years, where you want to be. What is our aim of studying today? You must tell the purpose of everything they're doing. And I've done in the school in Selangor where I give motivation talk. And I actually make them do affirmations, positive affirmations to themselves. I am a genius, I'm intelligent, I love studying, I respect my teachers. All the good messages, they say this in the school assembly. And according to them, the performance has really increased. And most students, you see, once you put positivity, negativity will go. So teachers and ministry or whoever, each of us are always planting positive thoughts. Because as I say again, everything is about attitude. So the people in ministry who make policy, you must, what's the intention of writing the policy? Is it for just your own KPI so that you get a promotion? No. It's for the whole nation. Look at the big picture. Whatever you do, you must know the impact of your work. It's to develop the nation and make sure everyone has a good quality of life now and hereafter. Not just now. Because now people live 20 years only. Then they die. We want everyone to have this quality. So I tell the policymakers, whatever you do, do from your heart, sincerely of what for others, not what's in for me. Always what you can give. Because if you give without expecting to receive, the thing that got the highest power with full abundance, most merciful, give you beyond your expectation. This is why I want to change the mindset and heart set of people.
And I don't know, this is sort of my experience. I really think teachers shouldn't choose favorites.
Oh, yes.
It's even with parents, sometimes you have fun saying you choose favorites.
Yes.
When you choose favorites in the class, it's really, in a sense...
And the favorites are usually the ones who respond very well.
Yes.
Or who, as you mentioned earlier, who physically look good. Or, there's some characteristic that the teacher values.
Who sits in front of the class.
Blue-eyed boy.
Blue-eyed boy, teacher's pet. I think it's important that, you know, a teacher must tell, I love all of you, I love. You must show your love to your children first, your students first. Because, see, if someone who we know love us, tell us off, we don't get hurt.
Yes.
In other words, they have very high emotional bank account with us. That's why when our students, as a teacher, if they make mistakes, sometimes when I give lecture, I say, okay, this is I call it, I teach ophthalmology, thinking ophthalmology and making the mistake session. Wow, people feel good because I purposely want people to make mistake. So that when they make mistake, it's better to make mistake now rather than in your exam and in your job later as an eye doctor.
Yes, yes.
So never mind, please make the mistake now, and the more mistake you make, once I tell you it's a mistake, you remember for the rest of your life.
Yes.
So teachers should encourage mistake. It's not a mistake, it's not a failure, it's a lesson. Nothing is a failure, everything is a lesson in life. So this is something that we can control what happened to us, but we control our response. So for example, I know someone gave me a feedback. You know how I talk about teachers? A patient said, Prof, can you talk about teachers? Because my students, my children, when they come back from home, they don't want to go to school because they are very punitive, they get scolded. So if only we change the environment of the school, and if you look at all the people who go mak rempit and all that, why do they have to go speed so fast? To show something, to have this acknowledgement, because they never get acknowledged. So if every teacher will say, oh, I like your hairstyle today, I like the way you tie your shoe, keep on telling good things about others and increase self-esteem, this will really change the positive self-image you must create in your students. It's very important.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Muhaya Muhammad.